Welcome back to Life with Tone Challenge. Your boy Tone. I'm back with another video. I get to an AGT joke or golf. How God's right now, God open doors. People for OIG name pretty much today's video. Guy never changed narrative podcast episode. I don't know what episode we on at this point. Probably like we're on 62, 63, something like that. But this one's a special one. I want to shout out to Mark the Messenger for this one. It's a different episode I want to do for y'all today. This one is called Set Apart, Not Stand Out. So I'm gonna give y'all a Bible verse that I looked up the other day, and we're going to talk about it very briefly. And then it'll tie into what I'm talking about today. So this is in Psalms. I'm sorry, Psalm. See, I'm lacking today, y'all. Sorry. Psalms chapter 4, verse 3, and then there we go. And it's answer me when I call. Know that the Lord has set apart the godly for himself. The Lord hears when I call to him. So, set apart, right? I think there's other verses that are talking about that as well. Set apart by God. It's another one right here. We're trying to go show you real quick as well. Another example. Might be like in a different language here or different text, but we'll get to it. So, okay, so Psalm 3 does not mean if we make ourselves godly, that God will set us apart. Rather than God sets us apart in his mercy, making a covenant with us based on his salvation. He makes us godly so we may live a godly manner. But the emphasis in Psalm chapter 4, verse 3 is not upon how we live our godliness, but rather the verse underscores the fact that the Lord has set us apart for himself. We belong to him, not primarily to do his work, but because he loves us and seeks a relationship with us. We serve the Lord, therefore, in response to his initiation, there is an intimate relationship with him. So, that is being set apart. So, being set apart is you not being in the world anymore, right? Being set apart is being with the people that are taking the narrow path and not taking the broad path. I always say in Change the Narrative podcast. Standing out, this the difference now. See, when you stand out, you're flaunting your wealth. You're doing things like showing off. Standing out is the opposite of setting apart. When you're setting apart, you're going away from what the world is spewing. When you're showing off, you're doing the things that the world wants you to do. That's the difference between standing out. Like for example, it's a nice looking watch, right? But let's say I had a bust down rollie. I got $2,000 pair of shoes on my feet. I got a $500 belt. Michael Murray jeans, $2,000. Shirt and Miri, $250. A Miri hat, and I'm preaching to the gospel. I'm preaching to my congregation. I got a $40,000 Cuban link on my neck. I got an MBK chain for my brother's keeper, drawing 100K. But I'm preaching to the gospel. I'm preaching to the masses. I'm flaunting my wealth while I'm teaching the gospel. I'm teaching the word of God. That's showing off. That's not setting apart at all. I'm not calling no one out when I'm saying that either. I'm just giving examples. Or for example, Jesus became a disciple, right? And but you rich though. You got all this money, woody. The first thing you do as a disciple, take your fellow congregation to your house to show off your house. I got these 10 bedrooms. I got these 20 TVs. I got this theater room you can sit in and watch the theater. You know what I'm saying? I got this. I got this big old pool you can jump in and have fun in. You know what I'm saying? I got this tiger. I got this red horse. It's that red horse stuff. In another video, we won't talk about DDG. He a goofy. But you know what I'm saying? You flaunting your wealth, you showing off. You're not setting apart. You're setting apart. You are not in the world anymore. And you're drifting away from the world. You're not doing what the world says. You're not wearing Cuban links. You're not showing off. You probably better get your hair done. Probably do a lot of things you normally wouldn't do and that you normally would do in the world to keep up your appearance. for the world. When you set apart, you're not doing those things anymore. You're doing something a little different. Now you might still get your hair cut, your hair done, things of that nature. I'm not saying you're not doing those things at all, but you're doing them not for the world, but you're doing them for for yourself, for or to keep a good parent, physical parents for God. You're not doing it for the world to make you see in a better light to the world. Does that make sense? So, God, in setting apart is taking a narrow path. Showing off is doing exactly what the broad path wants you to do. So I'll remember that, man. So that's the difference between setting apart and standing out or showing off. So standing out, it's not a good thing to do. You're showing off to the mass. You're doing too much. When you're setting apart, you're in the cut. You don't got a bunch of friends. That's the number one difference. When you standing out, you get everybody calling your name. But when you set apart, you lose all your friends. You lose all your homies. Homies don't want to kick it with you no more. No one wants to kick it with you no more. You by yourself. You and yourself. You're in tune with yourself and God. You don't need no one else. That's when you set apart. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to eventually set apart myself. This world is sick, man. This world's crazy. Another episode for y'all then. But like, comment, subscribe. Take the narrow path. Don't take the broad path. Or remember, change your narrative. Become your narrative. Do not let the media or anyone become your narrative. You change your narrative. You change your path. You create your own path. Guys, be easy. Have a great one. And be easy, be safe, and stay healthy. I'll catch y'all next video. Tone signing out.